Tapthesoul.com is live. Tapthesoul.com is live. I've created a blog, an old school blog. Whew. Let me dive into today's post-it notes. Today's post-it note: just start, celebrate, build, be vulnerable, and leap. I've pressed this record button a few times now, and here I am again because I keep deleting what I record. So I'm going to leap. Tapthesoul.com. My blog is live. Hi, my name is Sandra, and welcome to Tap the Soul. Here, we talk about mindful living, curating your life, and prioritizing you. And for the last couple of days now, I officially finally turned on my blog, tapthesoul.com, and only 2 people know about it. I have updated all of my socials everywhere. I was using Linktree and I got rid of Linktree, and I now have everything pointing to my blog, the website, but I haven't said anything to anybody other than 2 people. And the leap for me is to finally press record and put this video out there. And the other leap for me is to take a moment and to celebrate. I purchased this domain name over 2 years ago, and I purchased another domain name over 2 years ago. I've registered a business within all of this, and I've done nothing. I spent a lot of time in my journal and planning and doing due diligence and reading research and watching YouTube videos and downloading Elementor and looking on how to create a website. And then I did the thing I shouldn't have done, because that's probably why everything derailed the way it did. I started looking at other people's websites. Now, what I thought I was doing for inspiration was actually making me coil away from embracing myself and stepping into what I wanted to do, because I didn't feel that I was good enough to do it. When you start looking at other people's stuff, whatever it is, when you start comparing or looking at other people's stuff, you are automatically setting a tone where you can potentially lose sight of your own vision and your own way. I talk about that about social media in a previous post. And 2 years ago, when I bought that domain, I didn't really know what I wanted the website to look like. I had a general idea and I knew that it was going to be about wellness, but I didn't have it all figured out. But I was looking at other people that I admire, that I respect, that are in the space, and I started looking at what they had. And I started thinking, but I don't want that, or that would be cool, but it doesn't really speak to who Tap the Soul is and what I'm about. And do I have to do that? Because you start seeing certain themes across everyone's pages. I'm like, so my website has to look like that in order for it to be. And I was just like, it doesn't represent me. It doesn't feel like me. And the one thing I always said I wanted was a blog. Now I know social media, everybody runs to Instagram or TikTok or whatever other platforms are out there. A lot of people don't read, but I knew that I wanted a blog. I just felt like I had to have a blog and a whole bunch of other stuff. Apparently, I don't, because the 12-week journey, Whispers Behind My Smile, taught me about myself. It reintroduced me to myself. It was self discovery. There are pieces of myself that I have tucked away because I was not healthy enough to deal with it. There's other pieces that I've tucked away that I need to celebrate and I need to appreciate and I need to respect. And one of those things is that for decades, I've been writing in my journal. I've always wanted to be a writer. It was a childhood dream that I had, a passion that I wanted to be a writer, a room with a typewriter. I did a blog post about that. I think it's already on the website. And my mother said no repeatedly. It wasn't a career. You don't make money writing stories. Apparently, you can. I just didn't think it was something that I could do. And I get it. I get the logic back then. The 12 weeks I spent going through self discovery, I unraveled a whole bunch of pieces of myself. And I learned to start learning how to let go of certain things, how to embrace certain things. And I'm still learning, I'm still growing. The last video here a couple weeks ago, I talked about having a lot of stuff that I need to figure out, and that I was doing writing and I wanted to do something with it. I still didn't have it figured out 3 weeks ago. However, I took a vacation, staycation, but I took a vacation. For a week around Easter weekend, at the time of recording this, I took a week off. And it wasn't that work was busy or chaotic or I needed to escape and get away. I have a whole bunch of vacation days. I had moved across the country. I never took any time between driving and getting into Alberta and starting my job. And I have a team that I absolutely respect and trust. So I knew that I was going to be able to unplug and not think about work and focus on a list of things that I had. The website wasn't on the list. But here we are. So I took the time off and I did some of the things, maybe three things that I wrote down on 2 pages of a list in my journal of what I wanted to accomplish while I was on vacation. And then I grabbed the MacBook Air and I sat on the couch and I opened it up. And I don't know why or how, but I automatically went to my website that has been sitting dormant and dusty, never live. And I was just like, I need to figure this out. I'm using every possible excuse why I haven't put this thing together. I need to just put this thing together. So I jumped onto YouTube and trying to figure out like what's a theme to use because I wanted a blog and I know that people don't really read anymore, but I know I wanted a blog. So I figured out, okay, how do I create the old school blog now, regardless of what other people are doing, because I know that that aligns with me. And I want to talk about mindful living, curating your life, and prioritizing you on this blog, sharing pieces of me and other things along the way. So by the end of the week, the blog was live. 2 days later, I pressed some buttons that I wasn't supposed to press and I messed up my website. So I had to tear it down from fully up and running and live to back to the bare bones, like literally back to the bare bones of finding a theme and reloading everything. And it's a good thing I wrote things in a different spot so I was able to get back to that. But I appreciate the fact that I had to blow it up and put it back out again because it allowed me to really slow down and appreciate the process. I was rushing to try to get something out there so I can check the box that I created the blog, but I was losing the authenticity of what I wanted to represent and how I needed to represent me. So, doing the restart of this blog, it was allowing me to really stop and think, how do I keep it clean and simple and minimal and encourage people to check out the posts that I put there, but not feel like I have to be in this crazy weekly schedule or daily schedule or whatever it needs to look like. And a lot of that came together. So, as a part of tapthesoul.com, monthly, I would like to be a part of your inbox mindfully. The Curated Note is a monthly newsletter, and I'm saying newsletter just to keep it simple, but it is a note from the soul to you in your inbox monthly, where I will share different things that I've come across along the way. It might be a post, it might be about books that I'm reading, words that come across that are satisfying my soul, music that I'm listening to. It really is an old school blog and an old school type of newsletter, both being done mindfully. I am curating my life. Take what applies and leave the rest. But I welcome you to check out tapthesoul.com and let me know what you think. I will put the link for the website and also to sign up to the newsletter, the curated note, in the description box. And this is me planting seeds. This is me laying foundations. This is me being really rooted in intention and growing with grace at my own pace and making sure that I'm doing so from a soulful place that is not comparing what anybody else is doing out there, but I am authentically operating from within and sharing with all of you. I really do believe that we all have a story or a few that we can share with others to inspire and to motivate one another. And this is my home, my place on the internet that I will continuously be building and sharing and being vulnerable by doing so, pages out of my journal to all of you. And I hope that this will reignite the spark within you on something that you want to do that you've put aside and you haven't had time for. Maybe this can motivate you to take a moment to prioritize you and to listen to that spark and that whisper behind your smile that is telling you that now is the time for you to do that thing. So I'm going to tap out here, tapthesoul.com, my blog, an old school blog is now live. The Curated Note, a newsletter monthly from my soul to you, will be live in June of 2025. If you would like me to drop a little piece of me in your inbox, click the link below and subscribe. And I look forward to continuing to connect with all of you. There's some other stuff that I'm up to, but I am going to tap out here and I will be back again soon.